Hello everyone and welcome back to my The Young and Restless 24 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a darkened basement room, Phyllis and Sharon lie unconscious on the bottom. A buzzer blares and Sharon covers her cognizance and struggles awake. Looking around, she gasps, "Oh no, no. Please." Standing shakily, she tells herself, "It's okay. I'm okay." She calls out, "Is anyone there?" The buzzer blares again. Sharon hollers that they've got her attention. "Tell me who you are." Sharon calls out, "Is someone there?" She doesn't understand. What's this place? What happened? She wonders if she's been cured again and hollers, "Who are you? What do you want from me?" She decides she has to get home and unearths the door, but can't get it open. She bangs on it and calls out some further, crying that she has children and a granddaughter. This is a real hijacking. "You chose me for a reason, just tell me what it is." She asks her prisoner to make the loud sound again if they can hear her. When the room remains silent, Sharon prodigies if this is real and whether she's losing her mind. Perhaps the medicines will always be with her. She decides it's real and yells out that she'll cover the malefactor. She warns that people will be looking for her. People who tried to hurt her before ended up dead. Taking a deep breath, she tells herself to stay calm for the kiddies. There has to be a way out. Spotting the window, she calls out until she turns and sees Phyllis's unconscious form. She prays this isn't like Heather and is relieved when she finds a palpitation. Sharon urges her to wake up and she does. Phyllis sits up, looks at Sharon, and says, "Oh hell no." Sharon helps Phyllis to her bases and says, "It was disorienting to me too." Phyllis asks, "Where are we? What did you do to me?" Sharon didn't do anything. Someone put them there and she doesn't know why. She allowed. She was having a daydream, but Phyllis is real. Phyllis asks if this is vengeance or phase 2. She got relief of Heather in the swash and wants to do the same thing to her now, because she calls her out. Sharon gripes that her sole purpose in life is to kill her every day, indeed, now that they're wedged in there. Sharon muses, "Perhaps this is your doing and you're lying to me. This is your vengeance." Phyllis informs her if she wanted to induce pain on her, she'd do it from hence so she didn't have to see her face. Sharon's sure she wants to make her suffer. Phyllis points out she was unconscious on the bottom. Sharon argues that she could have been faking. Phyllis decides they've to get out of there. Sharon points her toward the door, which, of course, wouldn't open. Phyllis questions why Sharon isn't crying for someone to deliver her. Sharon is a bit numb at this point. She hollers that she had to get trapped with Phyllis, because nothing in her life can be easy for further than 2 weeks. Phyllis pounds on the door as Sharon tries to search her pockets for the key. Phyllis yells at her to open the door. Sharon says whoever put them in there's out there. Neither of them is behind this. The loud buzzer blares again. They cringe and put their hands over their cognizance. Sharon says it happened ahead and Phyllis slept through it. Phyllis thinks they're doing it on purpose and can hear them. "Hey sickie, you suppose this is funny?" She wonders if Ian or Jordan did this, but they failed. Sharon confirms this. Phyllis asks, "Also who's it?" They presume if it's Ian's cult followers. Phyllis asks, "Why me? Let me go. Keep her." Sharon tells her this is dangerous, and she needs to calm down. Phyllis yells, "I'm calm." Sharon tells her they need to figure out why they're there, who did this, and why they're locked up together. Phyllis says, "Perhaps they want to watch us kill each other." Phyllis announces they need to be resourceful and suggests Sharon would rather stay for someone to deliver her. She tries to pick the cinch as Sharon complains about how she tries to make her look weak. The Golden realizes Phyllis has jammed the cinch and walks over to pick up the books on the shelf. They learn they're in Havenhurst Psychiatric Hospital. They dispute about Sharon's time in installations and Phyllis being nasty. Sharon repeats that they've to figure out who did this. Why? Why there? Phyllis says, let's go sit down. At a table, Phyllis asks Sharon if she remembers where she was before this. Sharon says she was at Crimson Lights and went out to run some errands. It's dark now, and can't be the same night. Phyllis tells Sharon she was in her suite and having strange dreams. Sharon was having strange dreams too and wonders if they formerly had medicines in their system by also. Phyllis says she was planning to have breakfast with her kitties the day after. Sharon says that's good, they'll be looking for her. Phyllis worries they might suppose she took off. Sharon's sure that's not the case. She wonders if Mariah will try to communicate her about Cassidy first. We can't have been gone for further than one day, can we? Phyllis knows their kitties will horrify. Sharon and Phyllis agree that someone doing this to their kitties pisses them off. Searching, they realize they don't have their phones. Phyllis thinks this is a game and they should look for them. As they look high and low for their phones, they dispute. Sharon wonders how long this place has been closed and Phyllis reminds her she should know, she's a therapist. They trade brickbats as Sharon suggests the redhead might have frame personality complaint or egocentricity. Phyllis says if the thing is for them to kill each other, she's making it easy. Sharon is creeped out by the idea of someone hearkening to them or watching. Suddenly, she finds a bag with canned food. How long do they anticipate us to be there? Phyllis grabs the bottled water and Sharon warns that's how she was cured in the Seamster. Phyllis puts it down. She says they've to work together to get out of there so they can drink water from normal people again. She remarks that it must have been horrible in the Seamster. Sharon tells her that the plan only made sense to Jordan and Ian. She's glad the cult leader is where he belongs now, in hell. Phyllis muses, Heather really did die for no reason. Because of some vendetta that had nothing to do with her. Sharon hates it. It squeezes her heart to suppose of Daniel and Lucy losing the person they loved. She adds that Phyllis had to watch them suffer. Phyllis points out she helped them cover it up. Sharon's free will and her sense of judgment and decency were taken down from her. She told taradiddle after taradiddle and she'll no way get over it. Phyllis says, good. You shouldn't. Sharon tells Phyllis to suppose whatever she wants. I do'n't watch presently. Phyllis harps about responsibility, she's letting herself off the hook. Sharon was given important, mind-altering bane. She was having entire exchanges with herself when she allowed. Someone differently was in the room. Her family could see she was out. Phyllis saw it herself at the most accessible time. Sharon says it was hell. Phyllis argues that what Daniel and Lucy went through was hell. She hovered and indicted them. Sharon's sorry about all of it. Phyllis notes that the PCP only made her attack her family. She had so numerous openings to speak up and didn't do it. She can choke on her gashes and remorse. Sharon questions it being more important for Phyllis to tear into her than to find a way out. To you, I'm just a target. Is she weak or a supervillain? Phyllis says, both. It depends what she wants and who she wants it from. Sharon tells her to use this energy to find a way out of there. Realizing that Phyllis is spooked, Sharon complains that she's a bully full of hate and rage. When she faked her death and put her children through hell, that was her too. Phyllis says her children have forgiven her. Sharon says her malignancy was more important to her than her children. It took Bane in her blood to make her rage come out, but Phyllis is the Bane. She yells and also asks Phyllis if she wants to do commodity useful and get out of there so they no way have to speak to each other again. Phyllis thinks these people want her to take Sharon out. But she wouldn't do it. She makes her own choices. Crying, she says she wants to go home and move on with her life. She tells Sharon, we've to work together to get out of then. Sharon tells her that's the first thing she said that they can agree on. The buzzer blares again and also music starts playing. Phyllis says this is really dramatic. They're the cast, this is the scene, and this is the soundtrack. Hey, you freak. What do you want? As the music continues, Phyllis keeps hollowing at the freak and getting decreasingly agitated. Sharon tells her to stop for an alternate. Does this music sound familiar? It could be a communication. Phyllis doesn't watch presently. Sharon points out the song is making Phyllis more tense. It's part of the game. Phyllis goes wild, banging on the door and hanging to bash in their heads. The music stops. Sharon warns, that was a mistake. They realize it's a game. Phyllis says, it's us against them and they don't know what we're able of. Sharon says they'll have to show them. What do you say, Phyllis? You want to play? Phyllis replies, why the hell not? Looking up at the ceiling, they ask what the rules are. A disguised voice intones, now we're getting nearly. Phyllis asks their name. He says it's not important. The voice says this is about the two of them, no bone. Differently. They've to work as a platoon in this game. Phyllis asks, what's the prize? The voice replies, staying alive. As the camera kissers out, we see that Phyllis and Sharon are being watched and recorded on a videotape feed.